Hey guys, and welcome to the Bourbon in College podcast. I'm Austin, and today we got a very special episode. So, I got in the mail a tasting set of 3 American Single Malt whiskeys. So, what that means is they're made of 100% barley. I could be wrong in saying 100% malted barley, but definitely 100% barley. They're in a very Scotch style, but obviously they're from America, so they're not Scotches. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try these 3 samples blind, give them tasting notes, full reviews, and see what I think about them. And then I'm going to reveal what each one is, and give a few notes about the bottles themselves. And then I'll rank them as well as rate them in my keep, cocktail, or replace. Although I do not have these physical bottles, I only have samples. I'm going to hold them to the same standards as my full bottles. So to begin with, we have sample A. Now, sample A, just by the color, I can tell you right now it's darker than probably I've seen most scotches, at least scotches that don't have coloring. It's about your average bourbon color. It's definitely malty on the nose, but I wouldn't call it malty like a scotch would be. I'm not getting huge butterscotch notes like I would on a scotch. It's almost like a higher barley bourbon to me. If I had to guess, I would guess these are aged in either used bourbon barrels or new oak barrels like bourbon would be. I'm getting some oakiness, a little bit of vanilla on the nose. Let's see what the taste has. I'm getting a lot more of the barley on the taste for sure, although it's definitely not like any scotch I've ever had. It almost has a sour beer flavor. Have you ever had one of those sour beers or a Brett beer, as they're known? It has a lot of that flavor. I wouldn't call it hoppy, but it has a funk to it. But I really enjoy it. It's so different from any bourbon I've ever had, for sure. That's a strong flavor. And that funk, as well as that oak it lasts on the finish. That's the biggest note I'm getting from the finish. Now I'm going to not finish that off yet. I'm going to drink some water and then move on to B. Okay, so between each of these, I'm drinking a good amount of water. I'm using an old trick to smell my elbow to reset your nose for the next thing. It's kind of like your neutral point for your nose, smelling your own skin like that. Alright, so sample B. Oh, wow. I'm getting a smokiness on the nose. Not like a scotch smoke, not peat smoke for sure. Almost like a charred wood, like a mesquite or maybe a maple. Almost like a charcoal type scent. That's the strongest thing I'm getting. Almost like a little gasoline. Maybe a little bit of nuttiness. And some raw cherries, not the super sweet cherries, the ones you get right off the vine. Not super sweet on the nose. Let's see what the taste has. Wow. So this taste, I'll tell you right now, the finish is smoke. It's smoky, like a campfire or a fire pit smoke. It's reminiscent of peat smoke in a scotch, but definitely different. Now the taste itself, on the front end you get cherry skin, like I was saying on the scent. You get a little bit of nuttiness, and then smoke. It starts off as a barbecue smoke, and then ends firmly in campfire to me. This is really interesting. it wouldn't be a go-to. It'd be if I want to try something weird and interesting. It's not bad, but it's definitely completely different from bourbon and completely different from Scotch to me. And finally, sample C. Now, all these colors are very similar. They're all dark as compared to a Scotch, about a bourbon color. The color is very similar to, I'd say, an Elijah Craig small batch. I only say that because I'm looking at that bottle right now. But it's a very similar color. The nose, I get that scotchy butterscotch on the nose that you get from barley a lot of the time. Almost like plastic though as well. Like a action figure smell, if you remember that as a kid. Let's see what we have on the taste. Yeah, this taste is very similar to a lot of scotches. I'd say it's somewhere in between a monkey shoulder and a Dalmore. Now, my Scotch knowledge is very, very limited, so I'm sure there's other things it's a lot closer to. I'm very limited on my Scotch knowledge, so please take that with a grain of salt. But that's what it's reminding me of, is a monkey shoulder, which is a blended malt, and Dalmore, which is a single malt. The Dalmore's, I believe, Speyside. I might be getting this wrong, and I'm sorry, all the Scotch fans out there. But, I mean, if I was in the mood for a Scotch, or something Scotch adjacent, I would definitely reach for this. It's pretty good. If you're coming in the mindset of bourbon, this is different, but I would not call C a unique flavor. It's pretty unique for American whiskey, but it's very similar to a Scotch for me. If I didn't know where these were from, I'd say that was a Scotch. Okay, now I'm going to go through and reveal each one, give some notes on them, as well as I'm going to keep tasting and nosing to see if I get anything different out of it. So going back to A. A is definitely, oh man, I'm getting a lot sweeter mapley notes. Ooh, like maple syrup now. That's different in the nose. Let's see if I get anything different on the taste. No, it's very similar taste. That's a weird new note. Still get that sour beer taste to it. Let's see. Oh, so sample A is Westward American Single Malt Whiskey. It comes in at 45% ABV. It is non-age stated. The distillery is House Spirits, and it is matured in lightly charred new oak. So it's matured the same way as a bourbon, which is why I get some similarities to bourbon in this. But I'm guessing that funkiness is coming from being 100% barley. Tasting it now, I'd agree with that proof. That kind of makes sense. 45, it's not the weakest, but it's, not the strongest. All right, moving on to B. Let's see if I get anything different before I review. So nothing different on B. It's still very weird cherry smoke flavors. I don't know how much I like going back to it now. Now, I love, when it comes to scotches, I love the smoky. I love Lafroig. I love Port Charlotte. Anything with peat smoke, that's my go-to scotch. This is smoky in a different way, and I'm not really enjoying it that much. So let's see. B is Copper Fox, Wasman's Single Malt Whiskey. It is 48% ABV. It is, let's see, it is up to 18 months aged in ex-bourbon barrels and finished in toasted applewood. So that's where the funky smoke's coming from, is that applewood. for sure. And ex-bourbon barrels, that's common in scotches. So that's not really anything weird in single malt territory. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. Not really. Now, I couldn't find a price for this bottle. The Westward, going back to that, goes for $70.99 on average. That's pricey. I would not pay for that one. The Copper Fox, I don't think I'd buy it, even if it was $8. It's not great to me. Now, sample C. Let's see if I get anything new on it. So sample C, it's still scotchy. I would compare it. Thinking about it now, I think it's definitely close to a Speyside Scotch, in my opinion. So C is Santa Fe Spirits Cocagan. It is an American Single Malt whiskey at 46% ABV. It is non-age stated, and it is aged in American oak. Now, they do not say if it's used or new American oak. I'm assuming new, given more of a bourbon flavor, but it being as quote-unquote scotchy as it is, it could be used American oak using bourbon barrels. This bottle goes for about $68.99. It's very good. I wouldn't buy it at $68.99. To me, it's not any better than a Glenlivet 12 or a Dalmore, or even a Monkey Shoulder for that matter, which Monkey Shoulder is right at $27 around here. So I would go for that for sure. Other than the novelty of it and it being made in America, which I think is really cool, that we can make great bourbons that are close to our style, but we can also venture out there and make things that are similar to other countries and make them very good. Very, very good. But again, to me, the price is kind of a drawback to that. Now, for these three, the Westward, I would give a replace. I wouldn't pay that much money again for what it was. Again, it was good. It was unique. It was funky. I would drink it at a bar if I was in the mood for something weird, but I wouldn't buy it. Copper Fox is a definite replace. I don't want to touch it again. It's not great. I see what they're trying to do, and I think they did what they were trying to do well. They got that weird apple wood finish on it. It's smoky. It's definitely unique. It's not like any Scotch I've had. So maybe you'd love it. I don't know. I don't. Now, finally, the Cocagan. This is good. I'm going to give this a cocktail just because I could not say replace. It's expensive for tasting such like other scotches I can get cheaper. But the fact that it's made in America and it has that interestingness to it, I would want to have it on my shelf and I would want to share it with others. So I would put this one at a cocktail. So now, before I go, I'm going to try something a little weird. Since none of these three were my favorite, especially not the Copper Fox, we're going to make a little blend with what I have left and see if this American blended malt I'm creating is worth anything. So, I mean, it's pretty even. I don't have exact measurements, but it's pretty even, a third of each whiskey. Color's about the same, but they all had similar colors anyway. The nose, oh no. That smoky cherry sticks out. Just like if you're blending whiskeys, if you put an Islay, especially like a Lafroig in a blend, you only put a few drops because that smoke sticks out. I think it's the same thing with this smoky Copper Fox here. Because that's all I'm getting in the nose, that Copper Fox with a little bit of butterscotch on the back end. I'm not getting any of the weird funk from A that I enjoyed. Let's see what it tastes like. The smokiness isn't as strong on the taste, but it's definitely still there. So if you're looking at blending, I would go very, very light on anything smoky. But I just that for fun. They don't offer that as a blend or anything like that. I encourage having fun. I have blend aging in a 1 liter barrel right now. I'm going to try in a few days and see if anything happened to it. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed this special episode. If you did, let me know. Give me a nice 5-star review. If you didn't, give me an honest review. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like, and what I can do better. One last thing, you might have seen me post a lot of episodes recently. I'm just trying to build up a library. Starting next week, I'm going to post right now twice a week. Looks like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so keep a lookout for that. Hey y'all, thanks for listening. Go rate and review the show. Give me your feedback. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. Follow me on Instagram at bourbon_in_college or on Twitter at inbourbon, or check out the new Facebook page. You'll give it a like. All of those will keep you updated when new podcasts are up and ready to play. Subscribe to us on your favorite podcast distributor, and check out my blog at bourbonincollege.com. Thanks for listening.